Hello dear doctors, welcome to 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗺. We are in the 10th lecture of skin, soft tissue and musculoskeletal system infections. Today's topic is all about parasites. The parasites which are going to trouble your skin are Trichinella, Dracunculus, Filaria, Leishmania, Cysticercosis, Ancylostoma, which is known to have larva migrans. In all of these topics, my dear friends, Leishmania, Cysticercosis, Ancylostoma, these topics we have already discussed. So, because if you are preparing for your skin, soft tissue and musculoskeletal system, you have to go through them. What I will do, I will provide you the link in the description box. You can go and re-revise the videos from the previous sources. But today's topic of discussion for that matter, first of all we will discuss Filaria. Next we will discuss about Dracunculus and of course the Dracunculus and the Trichinella. Coming on to Filaria. Filaria, if you remember the organism, it is caused by Wucheria bancrofti. And some other organisms also. Wucheria bancrofti we have discussed once, but other organisms today we are going to discuss. That's why I am bringing this topic again. So, these things I have revised already. So, I will give you the link in the description. You can just go and revise the Filaria, Wucheria, okay. But my purpose of teaching you today is this. Wucheria bancrofti, 𝗲𝗲𝗵𝗿𝗺 and 𝗵𝗺𝗺. What is the difference between three of them? So, Wucheria bancrofti is called as filarial worm, whereas 𝗲𝗲𝗵𝗺 is called as African eyeworm. So, 𝗲𝗲𝗵𝗺, A for African eyeworm. 𝗵𝗺𝗺 is the river blindness worm. 𝗵𝗺𝗺 is the river blindness worm. So, imagine this is a pond, a river, and the shape is O. So, O for 𝗵𝗺𝗺. So, 𝗵𝗺𝗺 is called as river blindness worm. Definitely the human is the definite host. That's why we are studying it. Now, Wucheria, if you remember, it is going to transmit by Culex mosquito. Now, let me just show you what I wanted when I discussed all these things. So, all these are nematodes, all the Wucheria, the 𝗲𝗲𝗵𝗺, the 𝗵𝗺𝗺, all these are nematodes. So, what happens in the humans, what happens in the humans, L3 is going to enter. So, there are larva 3, larva 1, larva 2, and everything is there. So, this L3 is going to get converted to adult, and then these adults, remember, are going to lay down L1, and this L1 is then going to go to the vector, and in the vector this L1 is going to convert into L3, and this L3 is again going to enter into what? Into humans. Now, the vector can be different, just like I told you that the vector is going to be Culex in the Wucheria bancrofti, whereas it is Chrysops in mango and deer fly. It is Chrysops in the mango and the deer fly, whereas it is none other than black fly or simulum fly in case of 𝗵𝗺𝗺. So, 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺 has got a Chrysops fly or a mango fly or a deer fly. So, lo, le lo, take it. This is how we talk in Hindi. Lo, take it. So, this is the Hindi. Yeah, this is how we speak in Hindi. Le lo, lo. So, what I am trying to tell you, my dear friends, is that 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺 means take it, and what I want to take is the mango. So, remember, mango fly, deer fly, Chrysops fly, 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗺, everything is connected. Whereas, now this river is filled with water. Now, which water? With the black water. Black water. So, black fly or the simulum fly. Black fly or the simulum fly. The diagnostic stage is going to be microfilary L1. This is the diagnostic stage, microfilary L1. Which is the diagnostic stage? The diagnostic stage is microfilary, that is the L1. and different microfilary are there. So I have given you the mnemonic, that is love birds will only marry. So L for 𝗲𝗲𝗵, B for Brugia, W for Wucheria, O for Onchocerca, M for Manzanella. So microfilary in O and M have no sheath, okay, whereas they have got sheath. So I'll make it for you. So L, B, W, O, M. So L, B, W have got sheath, whereas O and M have got no sheath. And they have got very much nucleus. Here they have got only 1-2 nucleus. There they have got no nucleus. Then O have got nucleus. This also doesn't have nucleus. So remember, 𝗲𝗲 nuclei are going to extend till the tip of the tail. Brugia nuclei stop before the tip of the tail. Only 1-2 are going to be there. Wucheria has nothing actually. Okay, nothing. Onchocerca, they have got no sheath. Okay, and but yeah, nucleus is present, and in M there is no nucleus. So this text is little misprinted, so please don't fall in this text. What I have told you is more than sufficient for you to remember, right? Although these things we have already discussed as well. So how will you check that? So Onchocerca is responsible for causing what? It is responsible for causing the, now for example, a person comes and a person takes a shower from this black water. So he is going to have the skin infections. Similarly, 𝗲𝗲 is going to do what? It is responsible for doing the, because it is an eye worm, so it is responsible for doing the conjunctivitis. Okay. So which sample will you take? Obviously Wucheria blood sample, whereas blood or the biopsy you will take in 𝗲𝗲, and because the river is the Onchocerca is going to do the skin infections, we will take the skin sample. Naturally the infective stage in all of them is going to be L3 larva. I think these things are making sense now, right? Just like diagnostic stage was L1, this is L3. And yes, what is the site of adult form? Where will you see the adult form? It is lymphatics, right? But because it was an eye infection, 𝗲𝗲 was an eye infection, so either the skin, that is the subcutaneous tissue, or the conjunctiva, whereas it is the subcutaneous nodule in case of what? In case of Onchocerca valvulus. So it is responsible for causing the river blindness and onchocerciasis, that is called as skin disease plus eye disease, right? Remember, it is responsible, the Wucheria is responsible because I have told you that it is responsible for causing elephantiasis. So what is going to happen is that in the lymphatics, this is going to, yes, in the lymphatics, this is going to get accumulated, that leads to lymph block, and once the lymph block is there, the lymph is going to leak out in the cells. So the cells are going to get swelled up, and this is called as elephantiasis. Also, because it is in the lymphatics, it can go to the lymph nodes there, and it can cause the inflammation of those lymph nodes as well. It can cause the inflammation of those lymph nodes as well. This is called as lymphadenitis. Whereas my dear friends, please understand that there is a eye worm, because conjunctivitis is going to be there in 𝗲𝗲. It is also responsible for causing the Kala-Azar swelling. Okay, it is also responsible for causing the Kala-Azar swelling. Okay, now how I used to remember was, because 𝗲𝗲 was being transmitted by mango fly. So there was an ice cream, one of the favorite ice creams for me was a mango bar. So Kala-Azar and mango bar coming together. What is the treatment? For the treatment, 𝗖𝗵₼ is given for 𝗲𝗲 and Wucheria, whereas 𝗖𝗵 is given for the Onchocerca. Okay, Onchocerca, 𝗖𝗵 is something that we give, right? So see, so this was about the filariasis, which was involving the skin infections, and the two most important ones involving the skin are, one is the 𝗲𝗲 and other one is the Onchocerca. But in order to revise filariasis, I have taken them all together. Coming on to the trachinella, so please remember, trachinella causes trachinellosis, and it is associated with consumption of raw or undercooked meat, especially the pigs. And the trachinella, whenever the word trachy comes, it is just like a hair-like projection, right? So can you see the hair ones, like coiled ones here. So hair ones and coiled, okay, coiled ones and the hair ones, okay, coiled ones and the hair ones. So this is the trachinella, right? So remember, the life cycle of trachinella has got two components, domestic cycle and asylvatic cycle, right? So domestic cycle means the pigs, the rodents which are going to be there, and the other one is going to have the bears, the moose, the boars, all these things are there. But the one very important thing which I want you to remember is that the cyst is the one which is the infective form here, right, infective form, and the very important host is actually the pig only. So pig 1, pig you have to remember, okay. Then this cyst is going to release the larvae in the humans, okay. So in the humans it is going to release the larva, right, and yes, of course, this is going to, because in the human gut it is doing this thing. So in the gut the features are going to come, like the diarrhea, like the vomiting, and all those symptoms are going to be there, right. The important part is this one, that they can have the myalgia, because the larva might go to the, yes, the larva can be encysted, and once it is encysted it can go to your own muscles as well, right. So it can cause the myalgia, the periorbital edema, then it can cause the splinter hemorrhages, all these things. So how will you diagnose it? It is diagnosed by the serological assays, right, but the gold standard is identification of larva on the muscle biopsy, which I have already told you, right. And what is the treatment? The treatment is going to be albendazole, albendazole. These are the treatment options. Coming on to the last topic for this entire discussion, that is Dracunculus medinensis, which is also called as guinea worm, okay. So what happens is, if you intake unfiltered water, they are going to cause the Dracunculus medinensis. So what happens is, let me just tell you, Dracunculus medinensis is supposed to have the small, the larva of Dracunculus, okay, I'll write it for you. The larva of Dracunculus is going to be there with the crustaceans, small crustaceans, and these crustaceans are going to contaminate the water. If you drink that contaminated water, you can develop dracunculosis. Dracunculosis, okay. So my dear friends, Dracunculus medinensis, also called as guinea worm, causes dracunculosis. That is because of consumption of unfiltered water, which contains the small crustaceans infected with the larvae. Can you see this? I will not say this is a beautiful picture, because this is a picture the very first time I watched, I was not able to eat my food properly. Yeah, but this is it, what it is, okay. So following the ingestion, whenever you eat it, the copepods or the crustaceans, okay, the one I told you, copepods or the crustaceans are going to die, and these crustaceans are going to release Dracunculus medinensis, which is going to penetrate the stomach of the host and the intestinal wall and mature in the abdominal cavity and the retroperitoneal space for up to 1 year, and after approximately 1 year, the fertilized female worm migrates to the surface of the skin and responsible for causing papule, usually on the distal lower extremity, just like here I have shown you. This is the distal lower extremity. So what happens? I hope you are clear. As soon as it is ingested, there will be the release. See here, larvae are released when the copepods are dying, and the larva is going to penetrate the host stomach and the intestine wall, and they mature, they reproduce. Then the fertilized female worm, she is going to migrate to the skin and it is responsible for causing the blister, and then there will be L1 larva which will be released, and once your foot will be in water, this larva is going to released into the water. Once it is released, and remember this is actually the diagnostic stage also. So the diagnostic stage is what? Diagnostic stage is the larva only. Then it is again going to get consumed by the crustacean, Once it is it is going to consume, what is going to happen? This is going to be the infective stage. So L1 is the infective, where it will be incorporated via water. Okay, so it will have the it is the infective stage for the crustacean. So L1 is the, okay, I'll write it for you, the infective stage and the definitive host and the diagnostic stage. So the infective stage for especially the humans is L3 larva. For the crustaceans or copepods, it is going to be the L1 larva, and the diagnostic stage is going to be L1 larva only, because that is what is coming out from the foot, and the definitive host is going to be human, because it is human body where the reproduction is taking place. Okay, so there is a very characteristic finding which you see in the X-ray, that is called as chainmail calcification. So remember, the X-ray of the involved extremity in Dracunculus medinensis shows a chainmail calcification. Remember, C and D going together, D for dracunculosis and C for chainmail, which is there. Okay, so what you do is this. So you put a stick. Okay, so you put a stick and you rotate it. Once you rotate it, few centimeters of the larva is going to come out each day, and this is how you extract the Dracunculus medinensis. So we are done with the parasites of the the important parasites of the skin and soft tissue and musculoskeletal system. Trachinella is a little difficult topic, I know, I can understand, but at the same time the topic is not very important, so you just go through the slides. In fact, Dracunculus medinensis is also the same, but one request here, which most of the people do, it is not 𝗲𝗵𝗵𝗴𝗺, it is Dracunculus. So please read the terminologies carefully whenever you are writing the exam. Okay, and yeah, one more which people do wrong, Trachinella versus Trichiuris. Okay, so Trachinella versus Trichiuris, you have to be very careful about them. Okay, so I think this is clear to you. These things are simple, but yet people tend to make some mistakes there. I hope you will not, and with us you will work together, we will together do hard work and keep the flag of our institution rising high. Thank you so much for joining. See you in the next class.